Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Outpost Frequencies. It's the live stream tonight brought to you by thelastmovieoutpost.com for all of your movie news, reviews, and everything cool about film. We've got another evening this evening. Last night we unfortunately had some technical issues, which means we couldn't do it, but we're here this week. I'm your host, not George Lucas, and with me, as always, is Sean.
Howdy.
Drunken Yoda.
Welcome back, everybody.
And we have a nice special guest of somebody who contributes a lot to the chat and generally helps us out so much because of the waffle that we go on about. It's nice to get pinned down. And that is Matt. Welcome, Matt.
Hello.
Excellent. It's nice to have an intelligent-sounding person along with me this evening, which is nice.
Yeah, no, it's 2-2 here, Sean. We're gonna have to. At least we got guns. That's the good thing.
That's true.
Yes, well, we've got pointy sticks.
You do have pointy sticks.
Strong words.
Do you have a license for those sticks?
No, they do have for the ripe bananas, but not for the pointy sticks.
It's mine's in the post. So, first of all, very quick mention of our old favourite, Alec Baldwin news, that Alec has been spotted near Buffalo, I think it is, as a film festival.
Still at large.
Yeah, Yoda, you've read this. The Boulder Film Festival. Yoda, you read this. Can you remember anything about it?
He is, well, it doesn't have much here. It just says that he is... where'd it go? Okay, sorry. He returns to the Biff. I guess that's the Buffalo. Oh, it's making me turn off my damn ad blocker. Hold on a second here. That's why it keeps going back to the front page. He's returning to the Biff as a special guest programmer. I don't know what that means. He's still waiting to find out whether he'll be criminally charged on the fatal onset shooting of cinematographer Hanel. You know, they have it. Don't they have it on video? Don't they have it like him actually pulling the goddamn trigger?
She was like pointing the camera at him,
yeah.
You know, as it went off.
I mean, they had Kyle Rittenhouse in jail within 24 hours, but this guy, this asshole, he's going to Boulder to a film festival.
Yeah, but you have to remember that Alec Baldwin has a lot of money.
Yes. And he made fun of Trump.
Yeah. He is he is the premier Orange Man bad expert.
We always say to all of our listeners out there, out movie outpost, that if you do see Alec Baldwin, please do not approach him. He is dangerous. Please make sure you report him to the authorities where he can be taken into care and get the help that he so much needs. Was that convincing?
Pretty convincing. For a second, I felt sorry for him.
Kathy Beek, director of the Boulder International Film Festival. It's not Buffalo, Boulder. Beek founded the festival with her sister, Robin Beek. He's such a nice person, Beek added. He's so into film, and he calls the office quite a bit to see what we are screening. And occasionally I can hear him, spinning the barrel. Diddy Mow! Diddy Mow!
Goodness, yeah. So, but like I say, if you do see Alec Baldwin, please remember that he is extremely dangerous. Okay, so let's move on to our first topic. Now, last week we missed out, but we are talking about Boba Fett. Now, if you've been reading the website, you know that I have been quite critical in my reviews, and I think that I've been quite critical because I was expecting more. But particularly the last two episodes, I think, is featured Boba Fett like literally in the background. He hasn't said anything, but it has all been about Mando, and then the last episode was all about Yoda, Baby Yoda, Grogu, and Luke Skywalker. So, which again I was quite critical of. But so first of all, what did you think? What has everybody thought of the last two episodes? I know, Sean, you've been watching it really quite deeply.
I liked it better than the last two, better than anything so far. I was like, hey, this is really engaging now all of a sudden for me. I can see why people dislike it now that I've seen the other character, and I imagine that's what the other series was like. I think to myself, oh yeah, I can see why everybody's complaining about this now.
Yes, I don't know if you've heard of a little film called Star Wars, and that's where it's originally is a spin-off
Captain
from.
Kirk. Captain Kirk and
so good, you're
Spiky or guy.
I mean, Eggy, you may Eggy. I'll call you Matt because you're known as Eggy on the website. But Matt, you've seen the series. What have you made of it so far?
The last two have been good, but then it's because it's the Mandalorian again.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a big Boba Fett fan, and I think it was only interesting because he was so mysterious. Now we know he's just a fat dude with dentures, and it's just like,
so we can identify with him. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
He's an old fat guy that's very grumpy. For some reason that feels so familiar to me. And can't quite place it.
It just speaks to me.
Like,
it just speaks to me.
Version of myself.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think again, the whole argument with the prequels were some things are best left unknown, and I think Boba Fett was one of them.
I mean, the same could be said of Solo. You know, it was a film that we don't need to know the history of Han. We just met Han at Tatooine, and he was great. He shot first because he was a badass, and that's kind of all we needed to know. With him,
I wanted to know how he got his last name randomly from some bureaucrat that took his ticket. I wanted to know how he got his gun put together from apparently Legoed up pieces of other gun. I'm so happy I know these things. I'm a better person for it.
I still say the name thing is brilliant because it's kind of his name could have been Han just on his own.
Han Smith.
Oh, okay.
Smith.
Han
Smith.
Loser.
Yeah. It could have been a whole thing. Yeah. So
I heard in a bit of commentary from George Lucas that originally his name was going to be Han Jingleheimer Schmidt, but then they said that was too long and awkward for a space movie and changed it to.
You know he was going to be a green frog, right? That's not a bullshit line from me. That was an actual thing. He was going to be a big green frog. Yeah.
Actually, in the back of my mind, that does ing a bell now.
Yep.
Instead they got Harrison Ford, who, funny enough, now looks like old leather.
Well,
he sounds like a frog.
Last episode of Boba Fett.
So yeah, basically, if you've not been watching Boba Fett, then you're an idiot, like Sean. Everybody else who's got a vested interest in it is basically Grogu's been given a choice that he can have the gift from Mando of this baby chain mail armor, or he can pick a lightsaber. And Luke, being the arse that he is, I did think that the choice was kind of, you can have a puppy or a kitten, but whichever one you don't pick, we're going to put down. You know,
that scene is right out of the Lone Wolf and Cub series too. You know, because he gives his baby the choice of the ball or the samurai sword before they start out on their quest, and the baby chooses the sword. And if he hadn't, he was going to kill the baby to join his dead mother. I don't know if you guys seen that Japanese series, man. Which
I would give this show 6 out of 5 stars if he picks the Beskar armor and Luke just murders him right there. Just shoves a lightsaber right through his face. Well, but didn't make it.
The interesting thing is if he does pick the lightsaber, that might mean that Luke starts the Jedi School, which then eventually leads to Ben Solo, which then turns Luke into a complete and utter wet blanket of a girl, and just completely ruins him that they did in the movies. If he picks the Beskar armor, it might mean that they don't open the Jedi School, which means they may be trying to break off a timeline, which means the movies don't exist.
That's just cope. It's not going to, they're not going to do that. Where was Baby Yoda in those last 3 movies, if anyway?
Well, I think that would kind of smoke your idea. But I mean, you know, you can only come up with these merchandising opportunities when they come, you know, and they just didn't have the idea when they did they were trying to do those stupid little porgs.
It is going to be interesting to see the way they go, and I am like mildly vested in it but I just don't see the series concluding particularly well. Not in one episode. Not when the first 3 episodes were pretty dull.
How many episodes are supposed to be?
Say it again.
I said, how many episodes is it supposed to be?
This is supposed to be the last one. This coming Wednesday is the last episode.
That's short, ain't it? What is it, 6 or something?
Yeah, that's what they do now. They took the idea from Britain because we only used to do 6 of everything.
I did hear a leak. I heard a leaked rumor about it that there's a chance that Boba Fett may cameo in the last episode.
Sorry, it took me a second then.
He cameoed in the 8th. He cameoed in the 5th episode.
Wow, right.
Literally was. I think he's going to choose the chainmail, George.
You reckon?
Because when they was building that ship, that woman with the fuzzy hair, she made a thing about time.
Yeah.
And quite a lot of it in the shots where he was landing, and it was sort of positioned where Mando was here, and that little dome.
Yeah.
And I think they're building all their hopes up.
You're right. That's a pretty good. I did not pick up on the foreshadow of that, but he did ask about that because he said, "What do you call it, a droid port or something?" And she said, "Oh, I've hollowed it out." That's a pretty good. Either that, or that's either a red herring or a pretty good foreshadow.
I'd have got the head of Jennifer Beals and put it in the back of there.
She's dead now. Sadly,
they killed Flashdance. I was kind of upset.
Yeah.
That hurt, man.
That was not a good move. I mean, you don't kill all the cute things in the series. So last week, Yoda, we were gonna talk about how we would fix Boba Fett. So I mean, did you have any particular thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I don't think that all of it is. I don't think the concept or what they're trying to go for is completely terrible. I think a lot of it is around structure. I don't like the flashbacks because the flashbacks don't have any meaning to the story. If you're going to do a flashback, the flashback has to have a reason that is impacting the character in the now. But there is the only thing that it's like I'm just going to the back to tank a flashback so I can have some story filler, and that's not reasonable. But if they had told it in order, I think then when you understand why he's doing what he's doing from the point that he tells Fennec, "I'm tired of working for morons," which I don't think is a bad motivation at all. I actually kind of like that. And then you would understand what he's trying to do.
They should have shown him then in the tax office.
I'm sorry to cut in, guys, but whoever has got control in the chat on YouTube, you might want to delete. There's a bot coming there advertising stripping.
Oh,
what's the problem?
Chat.
Yeah.
Well, it's spamming
shit.
I'll take what I can get.
Well, I already went to it. It's paywalled, but it's spamming the hell out of the chat.
Hey, look! If we didn't have bot chats, we'd have no chats at all.
Well, yeah, since Eggsy's here.
I was going to say our one chatter who is always very good at contributing is with us.
Oh, it turns out that bot takes you to a site where George's wife is stripping, so can't recommend.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it either. My goodness. God dear.
How did you get that Star Wars outfit on again?
Yeah.
I told that joke the other week. I'm going to tell it again. Of the came home from work and the wife said, "God, you look like you've had a rough day." And I said, "Yeah, I have." And she said, "I'll tell you what. How about I go upstairs and put on your favourite Star Wars outfit for you?" And I said, "Oh, great." So I went up 5 minutes later and opened the door, and she was in there in the nude. And I said, "Jabba the Hutt's not my favourite."
Still gets a laugh out of me.
I don't know how you are still alive.
It's because I'm in a room by myself where nobody can hear me.
Yeah, that's why I call the joke bullshit, because I'm pretty sure you would be dead before you hit the floor.
So, coming back.
The twist was he was looking in a mirror the whole time.
I haven't seen my dick in years.
I'm closer to Boba Fett, to be fair. You know, I'm not quite Jabba the Hutt, but there we go. We have got somebody on the chat now. Keely Chow. Hey everybody. Hey Keely. So anyway, back to Boba Fett. So yes, I mean so far the whole thing that's been happening with the whole flashbacks hasn't affected anything, because we don't really. I mean, the only thing that we've got from the series at the moment is Boba Fett just wants to take over Jabba's territory.
Yeah, it's not
That's
a bad.
kind of it.
Yeah, but you don't know why he wants to do it until like the 4th episode when he rescues Fennec. I'm like, just tell it in order. There's no reason not to tell this in order. Yeah. And that would have maybe informed us a little bit more. And then I think they needed to kind of, I don't know, that like, I don't mind that he had the Dances with Wolves moment, Dances with Sand People.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think there had to be something that as he was, yeah, I mean, it's something that as he was doing this, that kind of like gave him a moment, something that happened in that gave him a moment that realized that bounty hunting and all the shit that he's been doing up until now that ended him up in a Sarlacc pit was probably not the best life choices, and that he could make a choice. And he says, I'm going to take over this territory and I'm going to make a better Tatooine, and we're going to get these schmucks off of here. You know, something that helps me understand why he's making this change from evil bounty hunter that worked for the Empire to, you know, guy who's trying to have a more honorable existence by taking over a crime family. But then the other thing I say is, like, if you're going to take over a crime family, then just be fucking ruthless. Be the ruthless guy that you are. That would be a lot more.
Don't be nice about it. I know that Jabba was really bad. He put everybody in the Rancor pit, but I am much fairer. Okay.
Yes.
I love question about Rancor. It. When the Mandalorian episode and they make a big deal that he removed his helmet, and obviously that's some big thing, you know, big sin. Why is it that Boba Fett takes his helmet off all the time? Isn't he?
Because he's not a true Mandalorian.
I'm not sure what the deal is with Django, if he's Mandalorian or if he got the Mandalorian armor as a foundling or something like that, whatever the deal is. But they also showed like Bo-Katan, and they've showed Mandalorians in the past in the various animated shows and stuff. They're taking their helmets off all the time. I get the feeling that, and based on what the armorer said in the next to last episode, that they feel like they were the kind of Mandalorians that were fundamentalists. Let's just put it that way. They're fundamentalists.
Yeah.
And they believe that the reason why Mandalore is a burned out hellhole now is because they did fall from the fundamental faith or culture or traditions or whatever. So
because that guy this week called him an apostate when he said that he had taken his helmet off, didn't he? So
so there's a religious kind of aspect
but like you say, that they're very devoted and extremist.
Is this something they can't do where other people see it? I mean, I'm guessing, you go take a shower or something. He
mentions it.
He keeps it on all the time.
Yeah, he mentions
shopping everywhere.
He's in the shower, butt naked, but the helmet.
It's like, what sense does that make?
He's having sex with the helmet on. She's like, take that fucking thing off. No, he said in one episode, a woman asked him, says, when's the last time you took that helmet off? He said, this morning. And she says, in front of person. And he says, 20 years ago or something. It's like he takes it off to eat. He takes it off in solitude, but not in front of people. But that happened twice, actually, in the last season of Mandalorian.
I mean, the only two Mandos that seem to be left are the armorer and this other guy who he fought in this week's episode.
Yeah.
But they seem to be the extremist fundamentalists because, like you say, Bo-Katan has taken hers off quite often. So she's quite fundamentalist in believing that she can't have the Darksaber and she can't lead and everything else. And so there's obviously sort of two different, I don't know, religious factions going on there.
I think the interesting thing is, the idea that Mandalore is, just one step removed from being Alderaan for the most part. And the last people that, this society of the survivors and the people that are left are trying to figure out their cultural identity again and who they are and what they're going to be moving forward if they're going to have a society anymore. And I think that's an interesting idea, and that these sects may be, trying to figure things out and who's going to, win over the people and, what is the way. So I think there's a lot of interesting ideas there. And as far as Boba Fett goes, I mean, it feels like the Book of Boba Fett became like Iron Man 2, like the launch off for the Star Wars cinematic universe, for lack of a better term, where they're trying to create this much larger story, which for the most part, anything Filoni has done, I've generally enjoyed. The Clone Wars, the Bad Batch, Rebels, been far better than most of the movies, even the ones Lucas did. So I would have liked to see Grogu in the grocery store speeder bikes. That would have made sense. Those stupid, childish-looking things. I mean, there's things in this, those kinds of things you can fix easily. Just don't put that kind of shit in there. Make it look like Star Wars. Don't make it look like whatever the hell that was. But
I thought it was very strange with I call them the gang of the United Colors of Benetton. They introduced this girl, Drix was she called or something or other, and you thought, oh great, here we go, she's going to be a badass and blah, blah, blah. But they've done zero with her and with the rest of the gang, really.
No, the whole story fell off a cliff when they brought back in Mandalorian. Like it just all came to a screeching halt. It's very bizarre. So structurally, I think there's a problem here. And I should have saved the thing with Mando going to find Grogu in season 3. I don't feel like that matters in the story of Boba Fett. Unless
Luke ends up helping Boba Fett somehow in this war that's apparently going to take place with the territories.
Well, and I've heard a rumor. And I'll throw it out there. This may be a spoiler, so I'm giving everybody notice that there may be a de-aged Han Solo in the final episode.
That's what I heard.
Which would lead to the fact that maybe there's a Luke is in it as well. So I don't know.
Seems like the whole series could have used one more year of production,
and some rewrites and some fine tuning.
I know you had some complaints about the CGI on Mark Hamill. I did. I mean, it. Of course,
that didn't bother me at all.
But I didn't. Yeah, I thought it was fine.
No, with it, what got me about it is it just felt wrong, and I think somebody else used the expression that he was just lifeless. There was no emotion or anything from him. I know Luke wasn't exactly the most, enigmatic of people in the first place, but just all his lines were delivered in a very completely monotone way.
That's true.
CG and
I agree with like some of the things he said. I was like, that was very robotic sounding.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like he's trying to be a Jedi master. He had calmed down quite a bit in Return of the Jedi. He's meeting his Vader for the first time. It's like, I know you're once Anakin Skywalker, my father. I mean, he's gotten that, that serene kind of way to him. I enjoyed. To me, it was like recasting. You're just recasting with some CGI. It's fine. I had his voice. I'm fine with it. It didn't bother me in the slightest.
I was just being nice. I said I know I was being overly picky about it. Matt, did you say that?
Hey, yeah, Matt, we got another guy here.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. Did you say that you gave up after the Dances with Wolves scene?
No, I watched it. I persevered with it. So
yeah.
When he was dancing around the fire like a prat with some stick, and I was like, this is just ridiculous. This is meant to be Boba Fett, and he's dancing around doing some stupid Maori dance, and I was like, I can't be bothered. Anyway, my son
disavow.
He implored me to watch it, and I got through that episode. I got through the one with the shiny bikes in the desert, and then it started to pick up. But it just seems like it's just like a show of cameos. It's like it's become so uninteresting that they've had to fill it up with Hutts and Luke and Yoda and Mandalorian.
I feel really bad for Tamir Morrison because it's kind of like, we're doing a whole series around Boba Fett. Oh, great. Yeah, you're not in two of them. Oh, really?
You're not in your own fucking show. It's just bizarre.
And it's like Sean said, another year of worth of rewrites might have done something with this, but at the moment it's the whole series for me has been just a mess that you can't kind of I just don't know what's been going on with it. It's just weird.
Going back to Luke's voice though, someone, because we was discussing this on the site, forgive me for not remembering who it was, but they said that the voice of Luke in the Mandalorian episode, which everyone went mental for, was all CGI. It was all computer generated voice audio.
Really?
Well, they credit Mark Hamill, so I'm thinking he does. Now they may have adjusted his voice.
Yeah, have you ever watched the behind the scenes of the Mandalorian on Disney Plus?
No.
Not really.
That's some high level nerd shit right there, behind the scenes.
It tells you how they made it, and they actually do a section on the audio and the voice. That it was all computer generated voice. Bit like deep fake. The voice.
They've done that with. I mean, there's been like these. I don't know if you guys know who Jordan Peterson is. He's political kind of. He was a professor, and he's speaking. It doesn't really matter, but somebody did a whole thing where you could just type in anything, and it would say in his voice.
Sounds just like him too.
And it did, and it was pretty impressive. So I'm sure they could. It can be done. I don't doubt it. I think that they recorded his lines, that he recorded his lines, and then they tinkered with it because Mark Hamill has gotten pretty gravelly over the years, and he sounds much younger. So all of that I think is just kind of cool in a.
I did read as well somewhere just a button. I did read somewhere as well that I think that most of R2D2's lines have been computer generated as well.
I heard that.
It's not actually Kenny Baker.
Oh, well.
First of all, it was Ben Burt, asshole.
Uh-oh.
No, it's Kenny Baker
he actually
inside
did.
R2D2, though.
Yeah, he was inside R2D2, but Ben Burt did all the noises. And he actually did them with his voice and then screwed with them.
I can't believe you didn't know
You want
that,
some nerd
George.
shit? I'll give you some nerd shit, man.
What a loser that didn't know that.
The reason is because I'm not a fan of Ben Burt, because I've always got the impression that Ben Burt kind of thinks, George Lucas created Star Wars, but Ben Burt is the kind of man who fleshed it out. And it's kind of, you did the sounds, mate. They're good, don't get me wrong, but that's all you kind of did, all right? You're building up your part a bit too much.
I think you give him a little less credit than he did. I mean, some of the sounds of Star Wars are so unique and perfect for what they did, and if you've heard bad sound design, you know how good it is.
Why are you trying to tear him down, man? Why are you trying to tear him down?
You tear everything down. You shit on Boba Fett.
I hate everything Star Wars now.
Do you guys would you have liked Boba Fett better if maybe did you have very high hopes for it, and since it's sort of might never have achieved your imagination level, is that causing some of the displeasure with this? Or
I haven't read many books or comics and stuff like that, but I have actually read a few of the extended universe comic books of Boba Fett. In one of them, I can't remember the exact story, but basically he has a duel with Darth Vader and it ends in a draw. So Boba Fett is a total badass, and that is what I was hoping to see. In the same respect, in the movies, I was hoping to see Luke at his full Jedi potential, but obviously Rian Johnson took that away from us and just gave us this weak, wet blanket, who just gives up and dies. And so, no, I wanted to see Boba Fett. What I think would have made it better is to do like a prequel to Boba Fett of before Return of the Jedi and all that lot, of him and his adventures when he's actually bounty hunting and hunting down Jedi and killing them and that kind of thing. That would have been great.
Yeah, so that's what I think. I see some of that Mandalorian episode and I think to myself, why didn't they just do that? Why didn't they just have that be Boba Fett and this is pre whatever movie, and then be like, that's Boba Fett? And I bet any of the stuff he did in those last two seasons, if that was Boba Fett set pre whatever movie, a prequel, nobody would have had a complaint about that, would they?
I'm going to go out on the limb here, and I think the last episode they're going to knock it out of the park. I think this is the calm before the storm, and I think something's going to happen, and Boba Fett is just going to lose his shit and just go ape shit on everyone, and everyone's going to go.
I thought you was going to be He's going to be sat at a typewriter saying, no, "All work and no play makes Bob a bad boy." But I see like shooting everybody. Right, I got you, right.
Absolutely mental, and I think they're going to knock it out of the park, and everyone's just going to go, "Be Christ."
And then
yeah,
the last
I mean,
episode,
he's got to. I don't feel like they ruined him like Luke. He's a guy that is trying to improve his station in life, so to speak. He's trying to do something different. He's not giving up. He's taking things to a different level, and whether he succeeds or not, we'll find out. But I don't have a problem with. I mean, you've been pretty hard on it, and I think some of it is absolutely justified. But I don't feel like what they're trying to accomplish here is crap. It's just the execution, I think, has been the biggest problem with it. Not what they're trying to do.
No, like I say, I think it could have been an incredible series, and if, like Matt has just said, they built to this fantastic last episode, it's weird in the way that it's been done. That, I mean, with Mando met Baby Yoda on that first episode, and that kind of set that whole first season off, and even the second one. Mm-hmm. And so, but you had like a vested interest in what was going on. But with Boba, it's kind of like, oh, there's a turf war and they're all going to fight, and it's just. But that's kind of been, I don't want to say secondary. It's just not at the moment. I'm not kind of, fine if he's.
Yeah, I mean, what Mandalorian did was tell a lot of smaller stories. A lot of them were self-contained and built up character moments throughout the 2 seasons. So when you finally got to that last episode where Luke showed up and everything, it was still kind of a smaller story in the grand scheme of Star Wars, I guess. Yeah. But it felt earned, and you really felt something. And this one, I feel like they're trying to go too fast. Slowly in other ways, but too fast to build up to something that. How do you build up to this when the last 2 episodes didn't even have him in it?
Again, like Matt said, that with that last episode, it could lead to something amazing, but kind of it's taken 6 episodes to get there, and like I say, there's no vested real interest.
Doing nothing, big climax. It's like, no, you need to have this go up gradually over time, and it hasn't done that.
Yeah, there's no tension in it either. Even this obvious oncoming fight, watching, I don't feel any. I'm not like, oh yeah, the big fight we've been waiting on.
But Matt, you have got high hopes for it.
I just think Filoni has got a reputation for pulling it out of the bag and having a big reveal or a big finale, and I think he's too clever and he's got too much success behind him to leave us wanting.
It's going to have a big fight. Okay, it's going to be a huge fight. Boba is going to be on the ground. Mandalorian is going to have have a fight with Boba. For some reason, they're going to be at odds before the end, right? And Boba's going to have the Mandalorian on the ground, and that's when the X-wing swoops in, and Grogu jumps out with the Mandalorian armor and a lightsaber in his hand and cuts Boba in half and says, "You miss me?" It'll be his first words. It'll be that bad.
Can I make my prediction for the last episode now?
Go on.
Things will get really intense, like they're going to fight. What are the bad guys' names? The fish people, what are they called?
Oh, the pikes.
Yeah, the pikes. So it's everything's going to look like a big pitched battle. And then Bubba will go 20 years into digging up old Twitter posts from the Pike and show that they said some problematic things, and they'll just be canceled.
Look what he said about the Greedo race, huh?
Okay, my prediction is that the helmet of Django will appear out of nowhere, and as it pans back, it's being held by Mace Windu, and he's going, "Hey guys, it's me, I'm back again."
Yeah, it's dying. That was his dying brain fantasy.
Hey Boba Fett, did you miss me?
2 robot hands.
Yeah, we've completely ruined that now. So yeah, the final episode is going to be streaming on Wednesday. I know I've got to work in the middle of the day, but I will be eager to watch it and eager to see how it plays out. So let's move on to our other subject, which
Mando wakes up and he finds Grogu in the shower.
It was all a dream.
If only Luke does that, that would be the great ending. Because the sequels, they didn't happen.
It was all a dream.
Yeah. Han's back, Leia's back, everyone's back.
Everyone's back.
So yeah, we're gonna. Go on.
Sorry, John. I went over to the pub on Friday, and after a few beers, we all got talking about Mando, because obviously everyone's my age over there. It's a traditional English local pub where everyone knows everyone. And we got talking about the Boba Fett series. And when I explained to everyone about the whole decision between the chainmail and the lightsaber, and the fact that if he chooses the lightsaber, we could be on a path that eradicates the sequels. And then obviously I explained to him about the Ahsoka timelines with the other dude.
That's right.
I bet they were captivated in hearing.
Everyone was like, really, that could really happen. Like, everyone was so stoked that there's an opportunity that the sequels might not even exist.
Yeah.
The fact that when you think about it, it's never going to happen. Everyone's just be like that. Next Friday when I go back to the pub, everyone's going to be like, you bastard.
Why did you do that? Was that some kind of long con?
Hopes up.
I mean, it's one of those things that I know there are still a few fans of the Disney sequels out there, and I cannot understand in any way, shape or form why. I always think to myself, even Disney knew how bad those movies were that they stopped making them. You know, they knew how terrible, what an awful thing they'd done, and so they stopped making them. But it's going to be interesting to see which way Boba, Mando, whatever the series is called, is going to go. Because at the moment it is the Mando show, the Mando and Grogu show.
Remember after The Force Awakens, when we still had hope? That was good times.
I know people say about the death of Han was a bit cheesy and everything else. I did feel it, you know, that he was trying to make the decision of whether he was going to turn to the dark side and everything else, and I thought it was quite well done and stuff. And like I say, I do remember walking out the cinema and thinking, you know, cool, yeah, Star Wars is pretty bad. There were still issues I had with the movie, like if it sucked all the power out of the sun into the planet, that obviously the planet would freeze if there's no sun. I still never quite understood that. Yeah, but it was snowing when they got there.
Yeah, so just keeps going.
But there was mild issues. I mean, again, like Finn being in sanitation, but then being assigned to the murder death squad.
The worst problem, of course, is that the main star is a woman.
No, you see, I did like Daisy Ridley quite a lot, and I thought she was good. When the first actual scenes of her, when she's at the AT-AT and she puts her helmet on and she's eating a dinner, and I was kind of like, oh, I think I love Rey. I think she's great. But as it went on, no, that was like the peak of it right at the beginning. As it went on, it just got worse and worse and worse, and it just went down and down and down. And yeah, and then I also found out Daisy Ridley's a vegan, so he's like really put me off. So, yeah. Oh yeah. Anyway, so that's enough of Star Wars, because
that's enough of that.
Let's talk about something interesting like sports. I just say, in protest to this, I wanted to talk about video game conversions to movies because of the new Uncharted, which is due out, and I think it's got legs in it. But instead, now we're talking about sports movies.
Well, that's because it's a very quick conversation. They all suck.
Well, so do most sports movies.
No, there's a lot of good
sports movies. Here,
there's a very good sports movies. They're nothing but terrible video game movies.
Okay, so off the top of your heads, then, I'll ask each individual just one movie. Okay, Yoda, what is your favorite sports movie?
Well, why do you do this to me? I have a list of 10 movies in no particular order. So do you want me to just say one at random or what? Okay. I'm going to say, again, this is no particular order. I'm just picking in the way I typed them. Major League. I love Major League.
That was going to be my number one pick.
Okay, Matt, what would you pick as your number one sports movie?
Teen Wolf.
Okay.
Yeah.
Teen Wolf.
Interesting choice.
It's about, yeah.
I guess.
Technically.
Now.
Don't throw that away.
I don't have a favourite sport, because I've watched a lot of sports movies. I'm a big boxing fan. I like MMA. I've kind of got into baseball a little bit as well since lockdown. So don't ask me why, but I have. But I've just seen, going through the list that we was looking at, and I don't know. I've seen, there's so many. I mean,
there's good ones.
Ali.
Well, I mean, I can't give you shit about Teen Wolf since I picked Caddyshack.
Caddyshack, I think, is in the same kind of gray area as The Last Boy Scout, though.
There's golf in it.
Golf.
It's
Caddyshack 2 now that's
Just garbage. No matter
no,
what.
how dare you? That is a good movie.
What are you?
Okay,
high?
I like it better than the first one.
I'm gonna say just the same. I think
my opinion of you has degraded to the point of.
Wait a minute. You know my taste in movies by now, and that surprises you.
Yeah, a little bit actually. There
Really?
is to say that Caddyshack 2 is better than Caddyshack.
No, I said I liked it better.
That's okay.
Yes,
I think you're splitting hairs there, but fine.
Oh. My new number one pick since he stole Major League would be Mr. Baseball with Tom Selleck, where he gets demoted and has to go play baseball in Japan.
Okay. Okay, yeah. I think mine would be Space Jam 2. No,
I hate you guys.
I did watch the other day, and the only one that kind of really springs to my mind is Dodgeball. Because I do think that is a great movie, even though it has been completely ruined by Lance Armstrong, who was very, very selfish, and ruined the scene he was in. But no, I do like Dodgeball. It's a fun.
That's just like a, I don't know, man.
They play a sport to win.
Dodgeball's a sport.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it is. I thought when we were narrowing it down to, I don't know.
I was victimized by it in school. If you were victimized by it in school, it's a sport.
No, I was the victimizer.
Either way.
If not that, then I would pick something like Shaolin Soccer.
That's a good one. I like
That's a good one.
It's one of those films that it suffers with the budget, that some of the effects are not great, but I do love Stephen Chow, and I think he's very funny. And the film is it's ridiculous, but lots of fun again.
I prefer the God of Gamblers with his stuff, though. That's a funny. I don't know if you guys ever seen that one, but it's hilarious.
Oh no, I haven't. That's something that's going to go on the list.
I love.
Very funny.
Let's see, Rocky. Nobody's got Rocky, huh?
I don't like boxing movies.
Yeah, I'm not big on boxing either.
Rocky is not a boxing movie. Rocky doesn't have anything to do with boxing.
I'm
There's not any actual boxing in it. What are you talking about? It's
Sean, are you thinking of the Rocky and Bullwinkle film?
Yeah.
I didn't see any boxing in it. What's people going on about?
Nah, come on. The first Rocky is a masterpiece. It's a great movie.
Absolutely.
And then Rocky 4 is also a masterpiece, but for entirely different reasons.
Which one is that? The one with Dolph Lundgren in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my favorite of the Rocky series. It is, yeah. What was that?
Rocky 4, like a new director's cut of Rocky 4.
I have seen it. I have it. Yes.
Any different?
It's not any longer, believe it or not. I was
going to say there's 20 minutes more montage.
Yeah. No, they excised a lot of scenes to bring in some scenes, but in the end, it's still the same. Rocky punches communism. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I think Rocky is great. Do you want me to just finish out my list here?
Go for it. Yeah, we can discuss each one of them. Then go
on. So I said Major League. Major League is great because it's just guys being guys in as you would expect, and it's awesome.
It's almost anti woke, isn't it?
It is so anti woke, and that's what's so awesome about it. They just have some great moments. I love when the manager says, next time you let that go by like that, you owe me 10 push-ups. And it's like, it's in my contract. How to give 10 push-ups? He takes the contract. So let me see that. Just throws it on the ground. He pisses all over it right there in front of him.
Great moment. Might even be the best gag in the whole movie.
It's great. And just a lot of good moments. Bob Uecker in that is so fantastic, calling the games. When Charlie Sheen is throwing, he throws like 100-mile-an-hour fastball, but he's throwing it everywhere. I mean, it's not even close. And so like he throws it like 10 feet to the side, and Uecker will say, just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed. So he's fantastic. I said Rocky. We talked a little bit about that. I really like Bull Durham. That's the duology of.
I don't like that.
I do, because I like how Kevin Costner works over Tim Robbins so well, and keeps calling him meat and screwing with his brain just to get him to be a better baseball player. I like Field of Dreams. That's the other Kevin Costner baseball movie I love.
Now, I've only ever seen Field of Dreams once, and I just wasn't nonplussed by it.
It's Americana at its finest, except for one scene in a school that sets up having to find this author, but it's like the most obvious caricature of right-wing Christians being mad at a book and trying to ban it, and it's just terror. It is so cringy. It's the worst. But the rest of the movie is great. If you can get through that scene, I think everything else is great in it.
If you lived in the U.S. and had a dad that loved baseball, you'd probably like it more. You know.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you ever had problems with your dad, even if you didn't relate, you related on something. And so the end where he says, "Dad, you want to have a catch?" It's like that's the ultimate man weepy movie right there, right?
Oh, okay. American man weepy movie.
Yes. The Natural with Robert Redford, another baseball movie. A lot of just well put together. Wilford Brimley at his grizzled finest as a baseball manager. I said the Caddyshack.
Yep.
Just one of the funniest movies ever made. I never not laugh when Rodney Dangerfield is like going, give me 2 of those and 5 of those. Oh, look at this hat. This is the worst hat I've ever seen. I bet you buy one of these, you get a can of soup with it. And he looks over, and there's Ted Knight wearing the same hat. He goes, "Oh, but it looks good on you, though."
I've actually watched a couple of Rodney Dangerfield movies that I've never seen before, and he is very much my sense of humor.
Yeah, he's. I don't think he was ever better than in Caddyshack. He was great in Back to School. But
Back to School is my favorite.
That's what I saw the other day. Back to School. It was really funny.
Yeah. Which I guess, because it's got diving in it, I guess you could throw that in there.
I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
I like Tin Cup. Another Kevin Costner.
I like that movie too. Yeah, I forgot about that. I watched that not even a week ago. I've always liked that one.
The girl keeps missing the thing, and she's cursing every time. It's like, fuck, shit. She keeps missing it. He's like, fuck, shit. Those are very advanced golf terms you got on your first day.
Yeah. If you've never seen that, though, guys, it's definitely worth checking out.
I'm going to have to put that on my watch list because I don't think I've ever seen it. Again, like I say, because it's sport, I'm not really...
Yeah, it's stupid. Well, it's a stupid waste of time sport, but the movie's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, the best sports movies are not as much about the sport as, kind of more of a...
The people,
the people, the story, the characters, all that kind of stuff.
And it's got an epic ending, too. It's really got a hell of an ending. You
does.
really feel it. You're like, man, that is a hell of an ending, too.
Is it the same kind of ending as in Happy Gilmore with that golf?
It's pretty... It's not that good.
It's not. I didn't put Happy Gilmore on my list, but I could have.
Yeah. Adam Sandler is mostly missed, but I mean, Happy Gilmore is just great.
It's great.
It's a hilarious
and I think the reason why it's great, the more I think about it, the reason why it's great is not because of Adam Sandler. It's because of Christopher McDonald playing Shooter McGavin perfectly.
Yeah.
He's just so awesome.
Pieces of shit like you for breakfast. You eat pieces of shit for breakfast.
I love it when Jaws from James Bond, he's in there. He doesn't know that he's back there. He's like, "Well, good for Happy Gilmore, more. Oh my God!" He's like this giant above it.
That is, like I say, that's just one of those movies. And also, what's his name? Carl Weathers as well.
Yeah.
Tapper, tapper, tapper.
Get off me.
He gives him a heart attack when he brings back the alligator.
He didn't give him a heart attack. He fell out a window.
Yeah.
It's just the
worst. Yeah.
Right, back to the list before we go off on
Karate
again.
Kid.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I adore Karate Kid.
Is that the Jackie Chan one?
No.
Yeah, the Jackie Chan one.
No, it's with the Italian guy. A League of Their Own. girls
that movie.
professional baseball
that.
movie?
Are you crying?
There's no crying in baseball.
No. The best line in that movie is where he signs that boy's baseball. Wow! Avoid the clap, Jimmy Dugan. Hey, it's good advice.
What's great about the crying in baseball line is the payoff that comes later on in the movie, where the same girl screws up in the championship, and he can't yell at her, but he wants to, and he's got that infinite rage where his head's about ready to explode off his shoulders. And I want you to work on that in the off season. She's like, thanks. He's like, yeah, go get away from me.
Best acting Tom Hanks ever did, right there.
Great. My final one was Rudy.
Oh, I hate Rudy.
I love Rudy.
Such schmaltz.
It is. It's great. It's well done schmaltz. And it is a true story.
What about Necessary Roughness? You don't think that's better than Rudy?
No, I'm sorry. Weirdly enough, no. None of the other major leagues were any good.
Two wasn't terrible.
Oh. No, I started watching 2, and then Willie Hayes Mays got out of his car, and it wasn't Wesley Snipes. I went, what's going on now?
I know. Even when Snipes won't do it, you've screwed up.
I literally turned it off there, and then I went, that's it, I'm not watching this.
It's like saying, Nick Cage says this is beneath him. Really? Oh, shit.
I bet Wesley Snipes would do it now, though.
Oh, yeah, he would.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking through a list that I've just found on the IMDb, and there's bits and pieces in there. Obviously, I've seen quite a lot of them, but there's nothing to me that really stands out. Apart from, you guys obviously wouldn't get things like Bend It Like Beckham.
I do actually like that quite a bit.
I've seen it, but I don't have
it's good. It's
one way or the other.
Awesome, but it's good.
And then another one, again, which is a very British one, is the Fighting With My Family with Florence Pugh.
I keep meaning to see that one, and I've heard it's great.
It's good fun.
What's it about?
It's based on a true story about a British girl from Middle England somewhere, I forget now, but she dreams of becoming a wrestler, and so she goes to America.
Oh yeah, okay, I saw the trailer for that.
It's all right. It's not terrible. It's I've seen it a couple of times, and I think Florence Pugh is great. I think she's she, apart from Black Widow, she's been really good in everything.
Well, she was the best thing in Black Widow.
That's saying a lot.
Seriously, she was. She was awesome in that. She made that movie watchable.
And again, like Seabiscuit, no fans of that.
It's all right. It was one of those big at that year, and then nobody really talks about it anymore.
One I liked better that just came out recently is Dream Horse. About the town that bought a racehorse.
Is that an animation?
No. It was based on one of those based on a true story, But it was this small town in Britain, I think, that decided to go all in on a racehorse.
Matt, have you ever heard of that?
No, mate.
Guys, I just thought. Have you guys ever seen the excellent Kurt Russell and Robin Williams, The Best of Times?
Yes.
That would be my number one pick. Now that it come back to my memory, that is an excellent comedy. You got to see it, George. You got both of you guys got to see it. It's hilarious. The Best of Times. It's from 81 or 1980.
Oh no, it's a little later than that, but not much. 83, 84.
Yeah. So anyway, Robin Williams is this
87.
guy that. Yeah. So he in the big playoff game when he's in high school, the one chance they had to beat this rival team, he drops the ball, and it's crushed him going forward the rest of his life. He can't get over this, and so they stage a rematch with I guess the original players that was on that team back in the 60s or whatever, and then the opposing team, and the whole purpose is so he can try to win to because his whole identity is tied to this loss, and it's really Kurt Russell plays the
by Roger Spottiswoode, who I usually quite like, so I'll put that on my list.
It's excellent. Yeah, it's a must see in my opinion.
Didn't Kurt Russell's dad own a baseball team? Wasn't there a documentary on that on Netflix?
I don't know. He's rich. So.
Yeah, he probably does. Do I?
Yeah.
Yes, I think I do.
Yeah, he just does a Fast and the Furious movie, and then he goes buys a baseball team. That's why he does this.
Oh, what was the one where he was the hockey team coach of or something about the Olympic
Miracle.
team? Miracle, yeah.
Hell, that I would rather watch the documentary they did on that, because I remember that 1980 team. And
We all do. We're old.
we're
Thanks for reminding
yes,
us of that.
it was 42 years ago. Ugh, Jesus. But yeah, that's one of the. It's just one of those that's a moment in sports that transcends sports. You know, it's like almost a historic moment that everybody remembers.
I mean, another, just to come back to our main topic, like we always go off on a tangent, but one that's I've just seen here is The Wrestler.
It's
good.
That's more of it's a pretty good character study / I don't know, is wrestling a sport, professional wrestling, even as I don't know.
You mean
wrestling is a sport. I have
Scripted
seen it on
guys
TV.
banging into each other. I don't know.
Yeah. There's nothing gay about a bunch of sweaty guys half naked, groping each other.
Sorry, I just want to come back to the word scripted.
Sorry.
What do you mean?
I know.
Sorry, and it's 100% real.
Yeah.
That's what Lewis playing it, isn't it? The wrestler.
Mickey Rourke.
But yeah.
Mickey Rourke and Melissa Tomei. I'm sure she's in
That's
it.
right. Yeah, that's right.
Gets her backs out.
That's the thing that you remember from that. Well
Yeah,
done.
Melissa Tomei's cans.
Yeah.
That film was so good. That was the most important thing that he remembered.
Yeah, exactly.
Man's got his priorities right. What do you want?
There you go.
One that I did come up on my list, funny enough, I have some random lists that I browse through now and then, and one that came up the other day from 1980 was Escape to Victory, which was an interesting premise of some POWs are set up to have a football match against some famous German players, but they plan to escape during the middle of it. It stars Stallone and Michael Caine and Pele and Bobby Moore and a load of other famous people.
Never heard of that.
Never heard of it.
It's actually quite. I mean, it's kind of like The Great Escape with a football match, sort of. But it's the bit I specifically remember is Sylvester Stallone supposed to be in goal. So the person who's been picked as goalie has to break his arm, so Michael Caine does it for him, which was pretty rough. But it's actually quite. It's by John Huston, so I mean, it's you've got a sort of fairly credible cast with it. I put it on my watch list again because I actually fancy watching it. I haven't seen it in many years.
What's it called again?
Escape to Victory.
Escape to Victory. I'll try to.
It's all right. It's not too bad.
How about
What about the Mighty Ducks? Does the Mighty Ducks count in anybody's list?
No.
It's not on my list, but
No, the Bad News Bears though, the original.
the original one, yes. Is
That thing has got kids just saying racist slurs and all kinds of shit in there. It's great.
Yeah, so George loves it.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
Got kids smoking. I mean, it's fantastic.
Anything with kids being offensive or kids being killed, I'm a happy man.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm a simple man. I see a kid die in a fiery accident, I hit the like button.
It's funny how
that never gets mentioned as well. Sorry, George.
No, go on. Say which one?
Kingpin.
Oh yeah, I was going to mention that earlier.
Yeah, I guess that would count.
That is totally. That was totally about bowling.
Yeah.
The worst scene in that has got to be the guys coming up with the two pails. It's like I milked your cow. He's got milk all over. It's like, we don't got a cow, just a bull.
And when he's taking a crap in the urinal.
Yeah. Interesting story. I met Randy Quaid once. He was filming over here and I was an extra, and he was really nice. It was in a movie called The Magical Legend of the Leprechauns. It was made for TV.
Is this before or after he lost his brain?
Like I say, he was genuinely nice though, and every time I see Randy Quaid, I always think, oh, he was a very nice chap.
He probably is a nice guy.
I really liked him back in the day. It's kind of
I
a
did
shame
too.
to see where where because I thought he was a great character actor.
Yeah.
Ton of movies. I think when he's in them, just makes him a bit better. I'm thinking
tell you,
Days of Thunder.
People seem to
Paper.
forget that he saved the planet Earth on July 4th in
It's
Independence
true.
Day.
Yeah.
It's true. He did.
There's a hell of a sacrifice. Have you guys ever seen a movie called The Last Detail?
No.
No.
Jack Nicholson is in it, and Randy Quaid is in it. A very, very early role, and they're in the Navy, and he steals something, or he gets into some kind of trouble, and so Jack Nicholson and this other guy, I can't remember the actor's name, is a black guy, pretty famous from the 70s, but they have to escort him up to the naval base in Maryland or something like that, and they've got like several days to do it, and they know he's going to be in prison for a long time. And so they stop and they're trying to show him a good time before this 17-year sentence. It's an excellent movie. I mean, it's a legit good movie that you should put on your must-watch list.
What was it again?
The Last Detail.
Sounds familiar. I haven't.
I
seen
bet
it.
you've seen it, but it's probably been so long. Excellent movie.
And
though.
any given
Gosh, it is very
Sunday.
early.
Oliver Stone football movie. What was that?
Any Given Sunday is an amazing film.
To British people who don't watch American football, it's brilliant.
Cast in it as well, and Charlton Heston's line about when Cameron Diaz, that one would eat her young. It's just.
I like it. The only thing I really remember about it, other than Pacino's speech, is during the football game, a guy gets hit so hard his eyeball ends up on the field. Like, what is this horse shit?
It's funny that when you mention sports movies, because I mean there are movies that focus around the sports, and then there's movies which focus around the characters. Because again, looking through these list of movies on here, you think of like $1 Million Baby is obviously a boxing movie, but it's very much centered around Hilary Swank's character and Clint Eastwood's character, and the same with The Wrestler. That it's not so much about wrestling; it's about that particular guy who happens to wrestle.
The best sports movies are really just a framework to hang a really good story on.
Yeah.
Like if you there's these ones like Remember the Titans or We Are Marshall, these ones where they have some sort of like the entire team dies in a plane accident and they have to.
That's where I went to college at, FYI.
Really?
I did, yeah, but I did not cause the plane wreck.
Okay.
It's good to know.
I forget. Well, I think the Titans was the one where they integrated and they had all the black and white guys had to learn to work together, and it was a fine movie. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's just, it was fine when it came out at the time, and nowadays it's kind of like, okay, it's been done 8 million times. So you just get, you kind of get numb to it all. So one I did like with Dennis Quaid way back when was called The Rookie, and it was also a true story about a guy who I think he blew his arm out or something when he was young, and so he missed his chance to get into the big leagues. But over the course of time, when he got into his mid-30s, it turns out he could still throw like 98 miles an hour or something like that, and he decided to give it a try. He was a high school coach. He decided to give it a try. He tried out for a big league team, and he ended up making it and playing in the big leagues for a few years.
What's the one where the kid hurts his arm and then can throw like 200 mile an hour? And
Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year, yeah. I was like, wait a minute, ain't that a...
You remember they did another one called Little Big League where the grandson of the owner of the Twins, the owner dies and leaves the Twins to his grandson, and he ends up becoming the manager because he knows so much about baseball, and so the Twins are getting managed by by this 12-year-old.
Oh, let's not forget the classic Air Bud, golden receiver.
Oh yeah. I remember seeing that as a kid and being highly entertained by it.
Oscar
but then
worthy.
I reached an age of maturity where I thought, seriously, why did I like that? Yeah,
Yeah, that's one of those movies. I ought to do a list of those movies because I kind of said this in my Space Camp video.
Yeah.
Movies that you should not revisit as an adult.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of disappointment out there, guys.
It is. It's so horrible when you sort of think, oh, I love that film. It's so great. And you put it on, you're really excited, and you're sat there going, what was going on? Did I have a concussion to the head when I watched this the first time round?
Yoda, the space camp, you missed a perfect opportunity to tell.
I know.
One of the greatest jokes of what kind of toilet paper did the Challenger crew use? White cloud.
Ouch.
I was waiting for that.
I don't get that.
I tried to be at least a little.
What do you mean you don't
classy
get it?
In that?
Can you explain it to this British doofus here? He doesn't get the joke.
Okay, what is the Space Shuttle Challenger? What do you know about it?
It blew up.
It blew up.
Yeah.
In a big black cloud.
Big white cloud. Yeah, it goes up and there was a big white cloud as it fell apart and they all died.
And there's a brand called White Cloud.
Well, I don't know. There's a paper brand called White Cloud.
There he is.
I've got it.
The only joke I know about that is that NASA stood for need another 7 astronauts.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
We were psychopaths. I'm telling you what. I was like 15 when that blew up, and I remember telling the jokes like days later, How many astronauts fit in a Volkswagen? 11. 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and 7 in the ashtray. Boom.
So I guess you guys don't hear my Ethiopian jokes.
No, let's save that for when we finished. I'm sure we'll all have a good laugh, but let's just save it until after.
What's the last thing that went through Christine McCullough's mind before the shuttle blew up? The control panel.
Heyo.
Psychos. We were psychotic.
I can't believe you told that joke. You really personalized it by saying the woman's name. I was vague.
Yeah,
the acceptable
that's the offensive bit.
the two acceptable punchlines were the control panel or her own leg.
Right, so back to sports movies.
I look back. I'm like, I was a monster. Jesus.
No, we were back in we lived back in a day where, as a kid, everything was funny. Everything was funny.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a coping thing or what. I just
gallows humor. Yeah,
it wasn't that it didn't bother me, but I mean, like you're 15, you don't know anything yet. You barely know you're alive. So
the thing you learn as you grow up is everything is funny, but just not things out loud.
True.
That's the difference.
What? I've never learned that lesson.
Yeah, it's inappropriate. What George Carlin had the greatest thing about inappropriate laughter. It's like it always happens at when you're kneeling in front of the casket. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now that you mention that, one of my best friend's grandfather died, and we went to what do you call it, the wake that the Catholics do, and I go in there and I go, man, it smelled like something died in here, and. He laughed at that. It really did cheer him up. But I put that as like one of my all-time best comedic moments. Perfect timing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think tragedy. What is it? Tragedy is just humor. Is just tragedy plus time.
It was Mel Brooks. What I like the Mel Brooks one better. It's like a comedies when a bus full of orphans goes off a cliff. Tragedy is when I get a paper cut.
Yeah.
That wasn't me. That was Mel Brooks. So don't be anti-Semitic, George. Don't you criticize?
Yeah, all of a sudden, because he's a Jew, we can't say anything.
So sports movies.
I mean, it's funny because I was going to say I used to have a sense of humor about when my dad died because it took him 3 years to die, unfortunately, and I always remember meeting up with friends and sort of people were saying. Unfortunately he's passed away, and they would go, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and I'd always say something like, "That's all right, you didn't kill him." and it was weird for some people because if people knew me, they knew my sense of humor, and that was fine. But other people would be just sort of, anyway, right. So
your true friends were like, "Yeah, I did."
Yeah.
I still have the pillow at home.
Anyway, so back to sports movies. Nobody's mentioned Green Street.
Never heard of it.
It's a British. I was going to say it's more of a British movie. It's Elijah Wood and Charlie Hunnam, and it's loosely based around football, but it's actually based around.
Wait. When you say football, do you mean the little round and black and white one, or do you mean the turd-shaped one?
No, I'm talking about football as opposed to hand egg.
Okay.
Yeah, no. We're not correcting on that, Matt. It's football. What we play, football.
Bringing them in.
All right, that what they play is hand egg. Okay, so but it's basically based around football hooligans, and Elijah Wood stays with a friend, and they end up all getting into fights and all this kind of thing. There's been actually several British movies that have been based around the same thing, and they're just awful. Apart from the only one that was very good was, I think it was called The Football Factory, which was a spoof of them, and that was actually very, very funny if you get a chance to watch that.
A spoof.
Which one?
Football Factory. It's by a real hooligan who wrote a series of books about his exploits back in the day.
Oh right, okay. I thought it was just like a parody of those football hooligan films.
It's generally based on real events that happened throughout this. It's a British classic, Football Factory.
It is very funny.
Hooligans. I think it was Chelsea versus Millwall, and the teams, and they was all friends during the week, and then when the game started at the weekend, they hated each other.
Yeah.
And then it's about a big cup game where Chelsea are playing Millwall, and they literally they were at war with each other for like a weekend. It's a British classic, another British classic with hooligan, and it's called ID.
Oh yeah. Isn't that's by? I want to say Nick Cave, but I don't think that's right. But I know that I remember watching one football hooligan one, and basically the whole premise of the story was it's great to kick people's heads in. That was kind of the moral of the story of the whole thing.
Pretty much football in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. We
Death
have
Race 2000. Is that a sports movie?
Well, I was just going to say,
yeah.
We've had somebody chatting away to us, Kurt J52, because one of the ones he's mentioned is Real Steel.
Banning from the chat.
Yeah, but I mean that's well, what? It's about sport. It's about boxing.
We can't ban our audience
sock 'em
member.
robots.
Listen, if you've got young kids and they like robots punching the shit out of each other, it's a great.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess if you want to say sports movie, does it have to be actual real sports in real life?
Because funny enough, rollerball.
Because otherwise,
is on the
Hunger
list as
Games,
well.
right?
Yeah.
What about Alita, Battle Angel?
Oh yeah. See, yeah, that could be a game. I'm surprised nobody's tried that yet.
Yeah.
Rollerball.
Rollerball.
I'll tell you one that's pretty good is the one with Chris Hemsworth and that German guy in it about those two real racers.
Rush.
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 That was a pretty good movie.
Ford versus Ferrari.
That's pretty good too.
That was
a really good one. I mean, if we're going to put made-up sports, then we have to put the Harry Potter movies in there because Quidditch. Right?
No, that's a real. Apparently, there are people that have leagues and play that and all sorts now.
Yeah, that's
sad.
That's yeah.
They have brooms and run around the field with a broom.
Yeah,
I guess it's
Do they really?
it's one way.
To be fair, it's no more sad than in Holy Grail of riding a horse by having two coconuts banging them together.
That was done ironically. Let's face it. That was done ironically.
I mean. If you think you can fly a broom by just running around with a broom in between your legs, you might as well run around with a horse.
Hey, whatever it takes to maintain celibacy, I guess you do what you gotta do.
They are actually doing the world a favor.
My virginity, I'll duel you for it.
That's right.
Another good one.
A bad drug, no sex.
A different sport, but again, this is coming back to the British stuff. But like Eddie the Eagle.
That is a sport. That was a good movie. I did like it.
I mean, the guy himself, Eddie the Eagle, he wanted desperately to win a medal at something in the Olympics, and the only thing he could do was to become a ski jumper, but he knew nothing about ski jumping. And the movie itself is quite good. It's got Taron Egerton in it and Hugh Jackman. But in Britain, Eddie the Eagle is still a very loved personality of just that underdog, because he actually went and he tried to do it, and he came dead last. But he tried his best, and we all love him for that.
He did ski falling mostly.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yes,
like that. That reminds me of the one with John Candy, Cool Runnings, the Jamaican bobsled team.
Yeah. I, with Eddie the Eagle, it's ski jumping until his skis touch the snow, and then it was falling.
And then crashing at that point.
Yeah. But that's actually quite a good movie. If you do get a chance to watch it, again, it's very British because most of the ones, like I say, because it's just most of the sports I'm not interested in.
I did enjoy that movie a lot. I think I saw that one in the theater, believe it or not.
I've never seen it. I've never even heard of it. I'll have to track it down.
Is it called Eddie the Eagle, or is it called?
Yeah, it's just called Eddie the Eagle. Yeah.
Okay.
George, one you like, you should like, is I, Tonya. Has anyone seen that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Funny enough, I was going to bring that up in a bit. Yes.
Now, is that a sports movie or a biopic?
It's isolated.
Yeah.
Someone's legs to pieces, so I suppose it's got a bit of everything.
I watched the sex tape. I have not seen the movie.
That is the dictionary definition of you could take the girl out of the trailer park, but can't take the trailer park out of the girl.
Misunderstood genius.
Yeah,
Really good film, and Margot Robbie's brilliant in it. I've got to be honest.
Margot Robbie's brilliant in everything, and I'm hoping to make her my wife one day.
I'm just trying to look at some other here. Coach Carter, Grudge Match, Rocky 4, as we've already mentioned. Blades of
Moneyball. Did you guys like that one?
Yeah, I like Moneyball a lot. It's really good.
Not bad.
I've only seen it the once, and I don't really recall much about it. Brad
Blades
Pitt
of Glory.
down the hill. I was going to say Blades of Glory. Yeah.
I thought it was funny that there's a ton of classic baseball movies in one form or another, from 8 Man Out to Major League to Moneyball, and many in between. And there's very few that are football movies. I think you have what was The Longest Yard with Burt Reynolds, not the Adam Sandler.
And then that Adam Sandler remake. Let's not forget that.
Let's forget that. But other than that, there's not that many others.
What about things like Days of Thunder?
I like Days of Thunder. It's a guilty pleasure for me.
I think I've seen it once. I can't tell you anything about it.
There's the racing car one with Will Ferrell,
Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Yeah, that's brilliant. You got to admit, that's funny.
See, I like Semi-Pro better with him, where he has the basketball team. I think that's the best. And of all that run.
Is that the one where he slams the baseball in the girl's face? Was it in that one? There was one somewhere, and Will Ferrell's got this basketball, and he throws it as hard as he can, and it just hits this cheerleader square in the face and knocks her flying.
About
anything like that.
Basketball with the South Park guys.
That. No, do you know what? I have got a real soft spot for that because I do think that is a proper funny film. Again, terribly offensive all the way through.
Yeah.
And just funny.
I love everything the South Park guys do.
That was a great movie. Orgasmo, I think I like better than that one, but I still like that one. It's hard to pick, but Orgasmo is just so absurd.
I'd have to pick Team America.
Yeah,
Team America. I mean, it gave us the America Fuck Yeah song. I mean, you gotta.
I don't think I ever laughed at anything harder up to that point than the vomit scene, where it just keeps going on and on and on.
He's sitting in a vomit lake, pretty much.
Oh man, I haven't seen Basketball for ages. I really want to see that again now. I'm gonna have to dig that out because that is funny.
Well, that's what we do here. We put desires into your brain that you have to. Oh God, now I got to go see that. Damn it!
Nobody's mentioned Game Plan with The Rock. NFL quarterback living as a bachelor lifestyle discovers he has an 8-year-old for a daughter.
Oh yeah, that's. See,
seriously, how could you not pick out something like that? You know,
I never heard of it.
That was when The Rock was following the Hulk Hogan career map of doing kids movies, of being a big giant tough guy, but in a family movie. He gave that up pretty quick, thank God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Tooth Fairy. Jesus Christ, he's probably still cringing on that one.
Oh. Has anyone seen Cobb?
Yeah, it's been a while, but I've seen it. Not bad. Robert Wool and Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah.
To the point of being unpleasant.
Yeah.
I should bring it up here. I should bring up the list.
I'm not. I don't use Rotten Tomatoes, so I'm on the
Oh,
IMDb. Well, it tells me to disable my ad blocker, so I don't go there.
Well, I picked it because it's just an easy one to grab a pile of movies.
Nobody's mentioned Goon with Sean William Scott either.
It's a pretty good movie,
that's a
yeah.
good one. That is a good one. That and Slapshot with Paul Newman.
Yes. I haven't seen Goon for a long time. I do remember laughing through it though.
Goon 2 was not nearly as good, but Goon was great. I loved it.
What about the was it Color of Money? Does that count? The pool?
Yeah.
Or,
well, you could put The Hustler in there.
I was trying to remember the name of the original.
Oh, also nobody's mentioned Southpaw as well with Jake Gyllenhaal by Anton Fuqua.
The Sandlot.
I mean,
Sandlot, yeah, forever.
Yeah. Southpaw was very good. Anton Fuqua and Jake Gyllenhaal always generally make a pretty good team together, and that was pretty decent, as I remember. I do like Jake.
Stone.
Say again?
Hands of Stone, Roberto Duran.
I've got it on the list here. I can't say I've heard of it.
It's got Anna de Armas in it. That's all you need to know.
Oh, that's probably worth watching then.
I love the Blind Side, but a lot of people don't seem to like it or really hate it for some reason.
I don't.
It's the one where Sandra Bullock's character and their family adopt the kid who ends up being a great football player, and it's all true. I mean, it's all. Yeah, I remember watching him play, and I think it's a wonderful story, and I guess I have a bit of a bias towards it, given my own family situation, but. You know, they got a lot of lefty backlash on it because it was like white savior bullshit. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, they're just a nice family that they helped out. I mean, I just think it's a great movie. Dodgeball, we talked about that. Jungle Land, Invincible. I never saw that one. Blades of Glory.
It's funny as hell.
No, I
Shut
find
up.
Will.
Yes, it is.
I find Will Ferrell is just. I don't find him funny.
He's
I'll
not
give him
funny.
Elf.
Everybody else is funny in it. He's like in none of those movies is he the main attraction to me. He
did Anchorman, and that was it for me. I loved Anchorman. Yeah. I didn't like anything else.
I like him. I don't know what he plays the same character in every film. It just makes me laugh.
Oh, I was going to say no. That's why I don't like him because he plays.
Yeah, me too. I don't like him, but I think his supporting cast that they always get in those movies are what make the movies funny.
Yeah.
White Men Can't Jump.
It's all right.
I'm not watching.
Very '90s movie that one is.
Yeah.
I've seen that for a long time.
Big Lebowski, would that count?
No.
It's not bowling. Bowling in it.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, the bowling is not really. I mean, they never actually. I don't know if they even win a game or finish a game. For that matter, I don't think Jeff Bridges actually finishes a complete sentence in that movie.
New information has come to light, man.
It's like
he's brilliant in it. He's brilliant.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he really is funny himself.
The baseball film is Trouble with the Curve. Clint Eastwood and Amy Adams.
Yeah.
I liked it.
North Dallas 40. Nick
Never
Nolte,
seen that one.
Charles Durning. I never have either, but I remember it being out. That's a football movie. Oh, The World's Fastest Indian with Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
The New Zealand guy that races the old motorcycle.
Yeah.
Never seen that one.
And he ends up breaking a record or something in it. They wouldn't let him do it because he's too old.
I thought it was about a Native American Indian running away from the white people. But
That's what I was saying. Like running away from a smallpox blanket.
The world's fastest Indian. His name was Geronimo.
Yeah. Couldn't get him on a reservation.
Disavow.
Slapshot, The Hurricane. Jerry Maguire. Would you put that in a sports movie?
I
Kinda.
suppose.
Probably,
He's a
but
sports manager, isn't he?
I've never seen it.
no, he's a what do you call it? Not a manager, but
An agent.
But
agent.
yeah.
Um,
You had me at hello.
she
It's
showed
such a stupid.
show me the money.
And Cuba Gooding Jr. won an Oscar for that.
I think he was great in it. I just don't know why he can't
was
figure
good.
out how to make a decent movie since.
Yeah.
It's kind of a shame because he really had some good stuff in there.
It's funny, isn't it, how some people go on to win, they win an Oscar and then they go on to have fabulous, amazing careers, and other people win an Oscar and then you kind of never hear from them again apart from TV movies and adverts and things.
Chariots
one of the-
of Fire.
Chariots of Fire, yeah.
All I remember is that stupid song that they kept playing all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
no,
the
excuse
movie
me, that's
itself,
not-
I just remember being slow and dull and.
That was the
Exactly.
first movie to ever use electronic music in the soundtrack.
No shit.
It's a strange, interesting fact that I happen to know about that. But no, it is the whole thing.
I don't believe you.
It is boring.
I don't believe you. Look that up. Get the producer to look that up. I don't believe that.
Hang on, no, I'm going to look it up.
Is it really though? For real?
No, apparently, I'm sure that's true. Cherry.
You mean like a synthesizer?
Yeah.
Mm.
Vangelis, wasn't it? I'm sure it was Vangelis.
Yeah.
But it's
Pumping
That's probably
Iron,
true.
the Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary. I guess that counts.
Oh, let's not forget the best of any kind of sports movie is Over the Top. Well,
Yeah. With the arm
Stallone
wrestling.
and his arm wrestling.
Yeah, goodness me.
That's true. That is a fantastic movie.
I went to see that movie as back then. It was a blind watch. All I knew was that Stallone was in it, and I thought it was going to be a shoot 'em up action movie. And there I was, like the entire time, like, when is he going to get the machine gun out and like kill everybody to rescue his kid? How disappointed I was. It's like, oh shit, this is really about arm wrestling.
All I remember about that is they used to have like a Saturday morning kids club at the local cinema, and me and my friend went to see it. And for like the week afterwards, all we were doing was arm wrestling and just practicing the move of going over the top with your fingers.
I think that movie was basically what ruined Cannon Films, though, because they paid him so much to do that movie, and then it basically, bankrupted them. Because that was a Cannon Films. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the history of Cannon Films or not.
I do remember Cannon. Yeah, I see their logo a lot. I've been watching a lot of 80s stuff.
Most of the really good stuff from the 80s come out of there. But
About Raging Bull.
yeah, that counts for sure.
Excellent movie. Moneyball, Fighting with My Family, The Wrestler, I, Tonya, Creed.
I've never seen it.
Actually, do you know what? I actually thought Creed was pretty decent. I
That's what I
think
heard.
I didn't think I was going to like it, and I gave it a shot, and it was pretty good.
It wasn't.
I figured it would. Yeah, I thought it would be just like a cash grab or something, but people like it.
the fight was good.
Yes,
Cuba
we
got
talked
Me
about.
Too'd.
We already talked about Major League there. The other Sean's in the chat. The less important Sean is in the chat.
That's true. Cuba got Me Too'd. I didn't know that.
Did he?
I did not know that.
I didn't either.
Brian's song?
Wonder when we're going to get. Me
Brian's
Too.
song is another male, a guy weepy, and it is a true story, but it's with James Caan and Lando Calrissian.
Oh, right.
And he plays Gale Sayers, and I forget Brian Piccolo. That was what it is, and they become friends in a somewhat, because it's a racial time, it's in the 60s or whatever. But Piccolo gets cancer, and Sayers is with them till the end, and
He
it's,
shoots him in the head in a mercy kill.
it's
very
yeah,
touching.
it's like it's kind
Oh,
of
well, it's
Mice
not
and
worth
Men
watching
ending.
now,
It
is
wasn't-
it?
Yeah. James Caan kept
for that.
killing the rabbits. I don't know why.
I did watch the other day, just to mention James Caan, I did watch Thief.
That's an excellent movie. Did you like it?
Fantastic.
told you.
Absolutely brilliant. It was, all the way through. It had you totally gripped. It was, I really, really liked it. Really, really, thoroughly enjoyed that.
I may have to watch that. I hadn't heard of that one.
No, I haven't heard of that.
One of Michael Mann's very early movies.
Yeah.
James Caan is in it, and what's his name? Jim Belushi, the one that didn't die.
Yeah.
And
'Cause I did think it was John Belushi, but no, it was Jim Belushi.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
also, was it? Didn't it have Richard Pryor in it, or was that something else I watched the other day?
That's something else. Richard Pryor's not in that.
I saw something the other day that was a serious movie, and it had Richard Pryor in it, and
A toy.
no.
Wonder Wheel. That's you know, I it's one of those, like, you know, I don't like to use this word, but you could kind of use the word problematic on that one.
Do you know what the weird thing is? The only thing I remember about the toy is my dad had rented it from the local video shop, and we'd put it on and we were watching it, and there was a whole bit where Richard Pryor was talking about sex, and my dad thought it was too much and turned it off. So when he went out, I then just snuck the video out and watched. Yeah, and just
that reminds me. Remember what seems like years ago? I started to tell you guys a story about my brother and the porn video getting stuck in the VCR, and Yoda was like, "Oh yeah, save that for the live stream," and then we all completely forgot about it. Yeah. So anyway, my brother, he's 9 years older than me, and my parents.
You know, before we go, you know. Viewer discretion is advised from here on out.
So my parents go away for the day for some reason. My brother, he was, must have been 18, right at the edge of being able to rent one. So he goes out and rents a VHS of some porn. He brings it home. He's like, hey, go in your room. And, he watches it, and then he goes to eject it, and of course it gets stuck. And so he's like sweating bullets all day trying to get this thing out. And finally he's like, I can't, and there's no way to hide. So when they get back, he has to tell my dad, and I hear my dad just chewing his balls off. It's like, oh. And dad took, because at that time, if you couldn't return one, anybody younger than us doesn't realize this, but if you kept or destroyed a VHS that you rented, it was like $90 to $100. It wasn't like
not cheap.
Yeah. So it was, I guess it got to the point that it was cheaper for my dad to have to destroy the family VCR to get that out than to return that. And he just wrecked him over the coals for that.
Oh dear, that's a great story. It's the stuff like that you miss these days, and it is.
Yep.
Is Victory a movie title? It could be.
Can we shift gears for just a second? I wanted to ask you guys before we got into the main thing, but that I saw on the site that the Moonfall or whatever has bombed already.
Yeah.
And I think it's very funny when you pair that with what Roland Emmerich said the other day about Marvel. They're ruining. They do the same old crap. They're ruining it. And now
people should make movies like mine.
That dude has to be the most less self-aware person that ever existed. He makes the same fucking movie. They're all crap. I was like, the nerve of this guy.
The thing is, though, like I said in the comments, that with his movies, I know they're terrible. They are awful, but I'm always quite entertained by them. I can sit through them and laugh. Oh, really?
I can't even watch Independence Day. I liked Independence Day back in the day. I can't watch it now, and the other ones are even worse. I mean, everything he puts down is a new Roland Emmerich craptacular. It's just insane.
I haven't seen ID
over the top
for a long
and
time.
Terrible.
Yeah, no, but I'd like to say in a stupid, weird way. That's why I like him. Lost Highway was what I saw with Richard Pryor in. That's what I thought it was strange he popped up in. Sorry, I had to look that up. But I watched Lost Highway the other day. But yeah, it is. Like I say, I find him entertaining in a stupid way.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I like those bad, terrible movies. So
he made the 1998 Godzilla movie, and that's.
My favourite scene in that is the scene where Hank Azaria is trying to film, and he's got his video camera, and he's going like this, and he just goes. And he just calms down and slowly puts the videotape in and slowly closes it, and then it works. Because that's me quite often with technology. I'm banging and crashing it, and it's just like, no, just calm down.
Somebody did a video on this just recently. channel that I like, Cinefix, and he'd said that the Roland Emmerich style of escalating nonsense. And it's basically, that's what the movie is. It starts out kind of small, and they show a lot of everyman characters, and they just keep escalating up what they have to overcome. First you start out in a running over cracks and stuff in 2012, then you get in a limo, and now you're driving through all this. You get in a plane, now you're flying through all this shit, and then you end up on an arc that crashes into Mount Everest. I mean, it's escalating nonsense.
Do you guys think that Roland Emmerich doesn't realize that planes and helicopters can actually fly higher than skyscrapers? Because you always watch them and they're like dodges, like, dude, just pull up on the stick and you'll get above it. But it's like they're always trying to dodge these falling over buildings. It's like, dude, especially a helicopter, you can just stop dead and just go straight up if you want. And I've always thought like that. It takes me out of their garbage movies anyway. But that's one thing that really always takes me out of. It's like,
again, to me, it's kind of like the scene that always comes to my mind is in the cliche shot. Is the shot in I think it's Rother Khan, or no, it might be the third one, The Search for Spock, when Jim and I can't remember who he's with, get beamed up to the ship, and just as they get beamed up, the whole ground falls away, and it's kind of like that cliche. And it's like Roland Emmerich puts in every cliche he can possibly think of. If there's a building falling down, got to have a car driving underneath it or through it or whatever. And it's utterly ludicrous. But like I say, that's why I find him quite entertaining.
So when even Michael Bay is saying it's a bit much, maybe.
Yeah.
How does he keep getting money from these people to make these?
Well, after this one, that he's going to have some. He keeps getting money because of Independence Day. Independence Day made. They don't care whether it's good; they care whether it makes money. Godzilla made money. Like it or not, it made money. Independence Day made bazillions. Day After Tomorrow made a lot of money.
What about that sequel to Independence Day? Did it? I thought
it did not.
That was
but there's been
terrible.
diminishing returns because he's a one trick pony, right?
Yeah.
So he just has better special effects to work with. I mean, it's sad that you look at Independence Day. It's like it feels kind of quaint, compared to this nonsense that it's just chaos. That's all it is. Just chaos all over the screen.
If we haven't been keeping up with the chat here, guys. We've had lots of coming. Brian Song, hi Catherine. Cuba told me too'd. Got me too'd. Oh, I see that. Right, okay, that's why he that's why he didn't make any more videos. That's a shame. You can't me too a black guy, can you?
Yeah, apparently so.
Oh, right.
Look what they did to poor Cosby.
Right, okay. That answers that question. I did like my comment the other day.
Suddenly it took a dark turn.
I was going to say, with the whole Fresh Prince getting a gritty real reboot, and I was thinking, the Cosby Show should have that, about a guy who's got a nice family home at home, but and when he goes to work, he drugs women and does. Oh no, wait a minute, hang on, that's what he did.
I heard that they're going to get Ryan Gosling to play in the Fresh Prince.
Would that be affirmative action? It feels like it might be.
I don't know.
No, I think the stupid thing with this is I think there will come a time when that may actually happen, and that it's moving forward because everything has become so completely the opposite of what we know.
Who knows?
Actually having white guys working on Hollywood be sort of like, no, that's not allowed. No, Emmerich. When you get order Michael Bay from Wish. Emmerich is what you get when you order Michael Bay from Wish.
Good one.
Good one, Sean.
Very clever.
I remember liking Godzilla, but I can't remember much.
It's forgettable. It's garbage. It's dog shit. That's why you don't remember much about it.
No, I do remember quite a lot. There's Matthew Broderick was in it, and what's his name? Leon, Jean Reno. I remember the whole fact of the Godzilla kept disappearing and they couldn't find him, which I just kept thinking he was obviously stood behind a building.
Her. It's a her. Sorry, her. Don't you dare misgender Godzilla from the 1998 movie.
No, sorry.
How do you know she's a her though?
Because it has babies. It has
Yeah.
No, but
babies.
men can have babies now, apparently.
Yeah, yeah.
Stop being
Oh,
a
that's
big
right.
alone.
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
I think you're the one
Yeah.
misgendering there, mister.
I want to apologize. I said
To
some
all-
things
to
that
all
I
listeners.
shouldn't have.
This is a
It's the worst
birthing
moment.
person. That's what that is.
It's the worst moment of my life, and me as a trans person should have known better.
That's right. You need to refer to it as a birthing death lizard.
I'm gonna go to
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to rehab for a month, and I'll be back after you guys have forgotten my misstatement.
What are all these notifications on Twitter?
Oh boy.
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
you can imagine it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a good sports film that no one's mentioned. It's a fishing film about a fishing expedition. It's called Jaws.
Oh yes, I love that.
Sport fishing, yeah.
documentary.
Probably the best sports film going.
Thought you
What about
were going to talk
Jack
about that
Black?
terrible Joe Pesci. The guy from Lethal Weapon.
Murtaugh.
Murtaugh, yeah, but
Yeah.
Danny Glover.
Danny Glover.
Joe
Oh,
Pesci.
Glover.
Gone fishing.
I bet they're both proud of that one.
Yeah, that was. They're proud of the. It's like what Michael Caine says. They're proud of the summer home it built them.
So
Yeah.
Gladiator would count then, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, Gladiator's a sport, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
Gladiator.
sport.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Was
Gladiator.
back then, anyway.
yeah.
I had a list. I had a Fight Club.
Fight
MMA.
Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
don't know if it's
Snatch.
Nah, we
Snatch bare
can't.
knuckle fighting.
We can't. Fight Club can't
I'm
be a
going out of
sports
the Libya.
movie because you're not allowed to talk about
Yeah,
Fight Club.
Matt.
Very true.
This
Very
isn't
true.
Vietnam, Matt. There's rules to these streams.
Funny enough, on that list I was looking through a minute ago, they did have Kickboxer as one of the greatest sports movies ever made.
That's
There you
where
go.
Oh, was that with Van Damme?
Yeah.
Hey,
Um,
Deer Hunter. They played Russian roulette.
that was a good go.
There you go.
Did he
I
mount?
expected as Americans they were going to play Russian roulette with a semi-automatic.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
not funny.
On these rules,
As an amosexual, I find that very offensive.
homosexual.
That's the greatest expression I've ever heard.
Homosexual.
You say amosexual, but I mean, let's face it, it's all pretty phallic. So
Well, no. I wish I could say that I thought that up and I was clever, but that's really what leftists on the internet refer derogatory to gun owners and
No,
stuff.
you should have taken that as your own. Oh, that was great. That was great.
Can we edit this?
nope.
Um,
I'm gonna go to. I want to apologize for me.
It all stays in, every bit of it.
Oh, man.
yeah. Can we cut that bit out? We are live.
Yeah.
No 7
7
second
people.
delay for you, buddy.
7 people have seen that.
Oh, there is a Gladiator movie with Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah.
about boxing.
Ah,
That C really made me jump. See?
The best movie with Cuba Gooding Jr. is Lightning Jack. He plays a mute, which
No.
sold. Sold on
Oh,
that.
I was going to say it's the one where he's on the gay boat.
Gay boat.
On the
Yeah.
same boat.
Yeah, hang on a minute. I'm going to look it up now.
What? That's just one of your wet dreams.
I'm going to
Your
look it up.
search history. Gay
No,
boat.
no.
Your missus is going to look at that and going, what?
No,
I thought you were
saying,
taking me away for the weekend.
I'm just going to quickly look that one up so I don't know the name of it off by heart.
Why don't you share your screen with us?
No, I'm not going to stand up either. It was called.
The Love Boat.
It was Boat Trip.
Boat Trip.
Boat Trip. He books a boating holiday. 2 straight men are mistakenly end up on a gays-only cruise. And the only reason I watched it was because Rosanna,
Yeah, we know why you watched it.
Yeah.
Rosalind Sanchez was in it. That's the only reason I watched it. And Roger,
Why would-
unfortunately.
What straight man would go on a cruise with his mate? If your mate said, cheers, we go on a cruise, you'd be like, no, I'm alright. Cheers
That's
anyway.
That's what you used to do to get out of being drafted back in the day.
I like Matt's point of going sort of like, oh, do you fancy going on a cruise? Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, we can go to Greece. And I was like, brilliant. So who else is going? Oh, it's just two of us.
Yeah, it's me and you.
What?
Yeah.
There
My
are
friends.
singles
saw-
cruises,
Oh,
yes,
shit.
that is a thing. But it's
I
the
saw
gay
a great-
cruise that kind of that's where all the madcap hijinks ensued.
I saw this great meme the other day, and it had these two big, muscly guys, and he's going, you mess with my boy, you mess with me. You get that? This is my boy. And he's going, yeah. And he's going, you mess with my boy, you mess with me, yeah, because this is my boy, yeah. This is my friend, yeah. This is my boyfriend. No. Nope. No, yeah, but we're boys, yeah. And we're friends, yeah. So we're boyfriends. No.
No, that's not how it works. Quick, someone bring up a boxing film.
Okay, so I got one to throw out there. Is Cannonball Run?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, cool show.
Close enough for this stream, anyway.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Which one? Part 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one?
Sure.
There's like, yeah.
First one. Yeah, because they did talk.
I like the first one. Then there are no others.
Oh,
I've got one for you, Sean. Predator. Back game hunting.
That's definitely a sports movie. Yeah.
Game hunting.
Yeah, exactly. Just
Oh,
because
we-
it's told
we
from the
defined it.
human side.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's not be picky about this.
It subverts expectations.
Yeah.
So hang on, the aliens were the bad guys?
Yeah.
Whoa! I did not see that coming. I really didn't. Right. Okay. Are we going to slowly start to wrap up then on them?
I think quickly, actually.
these.
But
Or is it a bit too late for?
He started letting it out that he liked to go on gay cruises, and suddenly he wants to.
you don't know that for sure.
No, I just said
You
it
don't
was
have any
happening
proof.
Yeah. Well, I mean his own words. If you don't consider that proof.
If you just, as long as you don't consider anything I've said or done, then it's fine.
That's right.
Okay, so Yoda, over to you.
Well, Matt, how'd you enjoy your breaking your streaming, your live stream cherry there?
It was nice. It was nice being able to actually have a chat rather than just bombarding you with poorly written sentences.
I was surprised at your English, Matt, so well done.
Oh, thanks very much. To be fair, it's a Sunday night. I've normally had a few after my dinner, so.
No, completely with you on that. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you did have like, cause you know, you can speak up more than once. You did have a deer in the headlights guy, like these three just don't shut the fuck up.
No, it was a pleasure. I really appreciate being invited on, and there seems to be more chats as well tonight, which is good.
Yeah,
So
we had
perhaps you started up a little
viewers.
guest-
We appreciate it, guys.
Yeah,
How many?
guest segment.
we had 7 viewers. It's almost
yeah.
double figures.
That's right.
Well,
Yeah.
I
It's
was
getting
thinking
there.
going up. No, we really have been gaining live watchers over the last 2 or 3 times I've noticed.
Yeah.
You guys are really
Yeah,
just
so-
doing this for yourselves. This is brilliant.
Sean
That's pretty
number
much
2.
it. Yeah.
Sean number 2 noticed the matching gay Superman shirt. By the way.
Yeah, well, that's because Jill said we was going on a cruise after.
Yeah, I'd say that's a smoking gun.
You want to see it?
I was
He's
just gonna
taking you
say,
to
the
his.
whole
his
stereotypical Englishmen are gay thing is obviously really like, you know. I've actually got good teeth though.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a shit one.
He'd get him to show you his Superman Ice Fortress crystal.
Is that, I've never heard it called that before.
He likes. Listen, just remember, he likes the Princess Leia costume, not the Jabba the Hutt one.
Well, he's not actually said what costume it was.
Oh,
It could
that's
be a Chewbacca costume.
It's a furries thing, yeah.
That's true. That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, as long as you don't look at your wife naked, you start thinking of the Sarlacc, a giant hole in the desert that men go to die.
Or if you go upstairs and she's dressed as Chewbacca and suddenly a little pink lipstick pops out.
Oh.
There was a great meme about that. He said, "Hey guys, Do you think that Chewbacca? Let me get this out. They said, "Hey guys."
Give Sean a minute. He's gonna need an ambulance, I think.
That was a good one.
No, he said, "Hey guys, do you think Chewbacca has like a hairy penis, or is it like a dog's?"
Yeah, it's definitely a lipstick.
Where it goes red, it comes out of lipstick. No wait, because he said because George Lucas won't answer my letters.
Do you think that?
It would explain how the Millennium Falcon got so fucking filthy since Solo. It was like bright white, and now it's just covered in Wookiee cum. Apparently.
Do you think? Did he ever?
Harrison Ford's got bow legs.
That's right.
Do you think he would like hump his leg or anything?
No, to me though, it's the fact that he's up down there going, "Dear George Lucas, I have a question for you."
Age David, age 6.
Oh, we need therapy. Swear to God. No one should wonder this stuff. You are correct, Sean. I agree wholeheartedly.
Oh, dear.
Oh, my stomach hurts.
Why do I do this to myself every weekend with this shit?
Oh dear!
Thank you for watching. Really, thank you that you stayed this long and you've put up with this nonsense, this filthy nonsense. We really appreciate it. This has been the Last Movie Outpost weekly live stream. You can watch us mostly every Sunday, noon Central Time. You guys can do the math in your own damn time frame.
Right after church.
That's right after church.
I'm gonna get the church out with me. That's what it is.
That's right. Please
water burns.
Please like and subscribe. I don't necessarily recommend sharing this particular video, but if there's others out there that you would like to share, go right ahead. We are lastmovieoutpost.com. You can find the best and the latest in movie and streaming news. We are the cool news now. You can reach us at contact us at lastmovieoutpost.com if you have any movie or streaming news. Shut up, George. I am at Drunken Yoda 1. He is at Not George Lucas. You can send all your hate mail to at Not George Lucas 1 on Twitter. He deserves it all. Sean is smart enough not to have a Twitter, so he can't get all the hate and get canceled because of the Wookiee porn that he has inflicted upon our brains.
I was just going to say, if anybody does know the answer to my question, please just let me know on Twitter.
If you do know the answer, I don't want to know. Please do not.
And to be fair, just type out the answer. I'm not interested in pictures.
Liar.
No cosplay.
Pops is probably designing some artwork right now as we speak. I'll show you fuckers. Here you go. I believe that's it. I believe that's everything. Please like, share, subscribe, and we will see you on the next live stream. You guys got anything else left to say?
No, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
I think I ought to cut you off right now. So we'll see you on the next stream.